Hello, and thank you for coming onto your mat with me today. This is going to be a short, energizing practice. We're going to move the body a little bit, and then we're going to go into a couple of breathing practices or pranayama. And so the intention with this is to clear out stale air that's in the bottom of the lungs, to bring in some fresh, clean energy, to clear out clutter in the mind. So I would recommend doing this practice either in the morning or the afternoon. This wouldn't be a practice to do right before bedtime because it is going to give you a shot of energy. There is going to be one breath exercise of the two that we do where if you are dealing with any issues of weakness or blood pressure issues, high or low blood pressure, or anything going on with the nerves of your eyes, I'd ask that you just do a simple supportive breath while we go into that one breath practice. It's known as Bhastrika, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's first just find a moment here with the breath. So sit up nice and tall, and either close your eyes or let a soft gaze come down toward the floor in front of you. Draw the breath in slowly and deeply, opening your chest. And then breathe out either through your nostrils or out through the mouth. And do that a couple more times. Take a long breath, inhaling from the top down. And then exhale, empty from the bottom up. Just allowing yourself to settle and just check in. How are you feeling so far today? Are you feeling already energized and this will give you more energy? Are you feeling tired and this might be a bit of a struggle even just to decide to try? Or somewhere in the middle? All of it's okay. Just let your experience be whatever it is today. You're in this body. You're breathing this breath. Keep your breath steady, and then we're going to start to move the torso over to the left and then circle toward the front. You can open your eyes if you like, and then around to the right and back, just making some circular patterns with the torso, keeping your breath going. I like to inhale as I move my chest forward and exhale as I come around to the back, but do what feels natural to you. And you can circle either at the pace of your breath, or you could go a little bit faster if you'd like. I am going to have us eventually going into some somewhat vigorous movement and vigorous breath, but you can approach this in any way that you like. So if you feel like it's a lot of effort just to be here right now, then you can go a little easier. You can always bring the intention that you choose to any practice that's being offered to you. You can ramp it up, you can dial it back, go the other way with your circles. Starting to feel into the whole length of your spine from the bottom down near the tailbone all the way up into your neck. Good. And then bring it to the center and just pull your chest forward, breathing in. And then dip back and round through your upper back. Inhale, pull the chest forward. Exhale, dip back. Do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, bring your hands onto the floor behind you, come onto your feet and just start to swing your knees from side to side. You could go a little faster than the pace of your natural breath if it feels good. Letting the joints warm up a little bit. So this practice is called Move a Little, Breathe a Little, just to give you the chance to work things out, both in the body and in the mind, movement and breath having an impact on both. Good. And then let's come around to all fours, to hands and knees. You could use your blanket or towel that you might have been sitting on or shift it off to the side. And when you get there, just start to wiggle your hips from side to side. And then start to circle your hips around, moving them back to the side, forward, other side, back. Making some space in the hips, and then circle the other way. All right, come up to the center, breathe in and open the front of your chest, stick your tailbone up a little bit, and then exhale and round and press back. And that'll go on the breath. Inhale, come up and open, exhale, round and press back. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, back. Inhale, open. Exhale, round, press back. 1 more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, round, press back. Come up to all fours. Walk your hands slightly forward of your shoulders. Press into your fingertips. You can stay here or lift your knees up, hips back, downward facing dog. Let's take a few slow breaths here. If you'd like to bend one knee and press down through the other heel. Shift to the other side, just letting the heels shift, letting the backs of the legs open. Good. And then start to bend both of your knees. Walk your hands backward towards your feet. When your heels hit the floor, put a bend in your knees and shake your hands out a little bit, and then bring yourself all the way up to stand. Come on up to the middle of your mat. Keep shaking your hands. And people who practice with me regularly know this is one of my favorite things to do in practice, is just to shake a little bit. If you're not used to doing it, it feels honestly kind of stupid. You might feel a little self-conscious, and that's okay. You might be doing this with other people. Maybe you're doing this alone. So keep your hands and arms shaking, and then we'll add on to the movement, but you'll do what you're comfortable with in your joints. So if your ankles or your knees bother you, you'll keep your feet planted and just maybe sway your hips like this from side to side. If you can, start to step onto one foot and the other, marching it out. Maybe you start to let a little more rhythmic pattern come into play here. And one of the things I like about repetitive movement is at some point, either A, you'll get tired physically of doing it, or B, you will mentally start to get tired of it, or C, both of those things are happening, and then you've got the really full picture to work with. And that's why these practices of yoga and meditation can be so remarkable for us, because they're these real life, physical, tangible opportunities to work through challenge. All right, if you feel it, go ahead and jump up and down, maybe hop from foot to foot. All right, if you've got that vigor, you're not going to be doing this for very long. If you feel comfortable enough closing your eyes, let your eyes close. Vary the movement any way you want. Maybe you start to shake your hips a little bit, turn from side to side slightly. Maybe make a little bit of noise. You really get those arms shaking, and then let's have the arms start to go up over the head. Give them a good shake up over the head. Keep hopping or stepping foot to foot if you can. It's okay to let the heart beat a little bit faster. Good. Keep those arms up if you can. Keep going. Slowly start to let the arms come to the sides and down by your sides. You're still moving the legs, still moving your hips, still shaking your arms and your hands. Good, last little bit here. Okay, and then go ahead and stop. Eyes closed if you're able to, or gaze down. Take one hand over your heart, one hand to your low belly. And just feel, maybe feel a little buzzing, a little tingling. Good, feeling yourself fully alive here. Deep breath in. Big, full exhale, sigh it out. Good, inhale again. Exhale, sigh it out. Take a couple more breaths here, maybe swaying your hips gently from side to side. Just noticing what you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, letting it all come in. Good, and then go ahead and open up your eyes. If you're sitting on something, you can grab it. We're gonna come back to our seat. All right, so this is where our invigorating breath or pranayama is going to come in. This isn't going to be a very long stretch of our pranayama practice, but it is invigorating. It's called Bhastrika, or the bellows breath. We're just going to do a couple rounds. So if this is new to you, the breath, the focus is a little bit more in the chest. And you'll sit up nice and tall. And again, this is the breath that if you're having any issues with blood pressure, high or low, nerves of your eyes, or great weakness in your lungs, or if you've been sick, I want you to just sit and breathe deeply and naturally while we do these rounds. So for Bhastrika, we're gonna take chin mudra with each hand. So your thumb and your index finger are gonna connect to each other, hands down on your knees. And the breath will be through the nose, if you can, and it's going to be a fairly forceful inhale and exhale. You can either keep your spine totally straight and just simply inhale, exhale, or you could open the chest a little bit, inhale. So I'm rounding just the upper back a little bit. So let me just demonstrate. I'll do it first with the straight spine, then with a slight rounding. So, or, okay. So if you feel dizzy or this brings up a little too much excitement or anxiousness, stop doing the breath. We'll leave it for another day. What we're gonna try to do is 8 rounds. And we'll start by exhale to inhale, that's 1. I'm gonna keep track for us. And then we'll stop, take a few breaths, and we'll go into another round if you feel up for it, okay? So if you're familiar with Kapalabhati, the skull shining breath, that's more focused into the action of the belly. This is focused more into the action of the upper ribs and the diaphragm, okay? So come to your breath. You can close your eyes if that makes you more comfortable. Sitting up tall, and again, remember you could do this with a straight spine, or you can open the chest when we breathe in and round the upper back when we breathe out. So this will start on an exhale. I'm going to keep track of the rounds that we do together. So just take a normal, natural breath. Inhale, sharp exhale. Inhale, strong. Exhale, keep going. And exhale, ending the breath there, sit up tall. And just breathe naturally in and out if you can through your nose, nice and soft. And just notice what you feel. A little dizziness is natural from this breath. If it doesn't feel comfortable for you, I want you to just sit and breathe, skip the second round. If you feel anxious, skip the second round. This pranayama gives you a chance to really clear out the lungs and to create an invigoration. All right, so if you're going to do one more round with me, again, I'll keep track of the number of breaths. You can either keep the spine tall or slightly open and close the upper chest with the breath. Take a natural breath, inhale, and then begin sharp exhale. And exhale, let it go. Sit up nice and tall. Come back to a natural breath in and out. And just notice, maybe you feel a little buzzing. Maybe you feel a little vibration. Relax your face. And then we're going to move into our final pranayama, which is called Dirgha Pranayama. This is a 3-part breath. Dirgha means long. And we'll be breathing in 3 parts, breathing out in 3 parts. There are different ways to teach and practice this pranayama. This has a soothing quality, so this is going to balance out that invigoration that we've just created to hopefully bring you to a nice medium place with your energy. So Dirgha breath is always filling the belly and then the ribs, and some practices go to the collarbones, some go to the sinuses. We're going to go to collarbones today. And then you can exhale one of 2 ways, from the collarbones in 3 parts down or from the belly in 3 parts up. So the way I'm going to teach it to you today is breathing in from the bottom up, so belly, ribs, collarbones, and then breathing out collarbones, ribs, belly. Okay, so a smooth, steady breath, if you can, in and out through the nose, but you do what's comfortable for you. Good. Exhale all of your breath out. Bring yourself down to the lower part of your belly, pelvic floor. Inhale, slowly fill the low belly. Fill up through the ribs. Fill all the way to the collarbones. Exhale from the collarbones slowly down, all the way down through the ribs, all the way down to the pelvic floor. Inhale, fill pelvic floor to navel. Navel up to your breastbone, breastbone up to your collarbones. Exhale, collarbones to the bottom of the sternum, sternum down to your navel, navel down to your pelvic floor. Inhale, pelvic floor to navel, navel to sternum, sternum to collarbones, filling up. Exhale, collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to pelvic floor. Inhale, pelvic floor to navel, navel to sternum, sternum to collarbones. Exhale, collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to pelvic floor. Inhale, pelvic floor to navel, navel to sternum, sternum to collarbones. Exhale, down to the sternum, down to the navel, down to the pelvic floor. One more cycle from the bottom to the navel, navel to the sternum, sternum to the collarbones. Exhaling to the sternum, to the navel, down to the pelvic floor, and then come back to just a sweet, soft breath on your own for another minute. Letting it all settle out. Giving our energy some place to go, channeling it through these practices of body and breath, of befriending the mind through all of its waves, up and down. Good. And then bring the palms of your hands together. And take a few breaths. Maybe you bow your chin downward toward your chest. Find a little bit of gratefulness for the ability just to breathe, for the ability to move your body in whatever way you are capable of today. Feeling the power and the presence that you create by deciding to get on your mat and just to be here. Bring your thumbs up between your eyebrows. Gather up a big, big inhale as you lift your face. And open your mouth and exhale, let it go all the way out. Big breath. Bring your hands back to your heart. Open your eyes back up. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope that this was helpful to you. Namaste.